Get the Chese to Sickbay. The doctor should look at it as soon as possible.
Alright, Borg Crew. Pretty good assortment of crew cards. Let's start with third of 5. This is a discard, target a ship, disable all crew. Works through cloak. I like the card. 5 points is a little expensive, but to disable all crew and there's no other restrictions, it's a pretty good effect. Would it also be a really good effect at 4 points? Yes, I think so. And I think that's probably the sweet spot for third of 5, but it's justifiable at 5. I just think that it needs that little discount to make it better. Great effect though. Moving on, we have fourth of 5, also 5 points. Still a discard, but you pick a ship, you disable 2 shields, then you disable 2 upgrades. That's also a really good effect. Is it worth the 5 points? This time, actually, I think yes, because you have flexibility with what you can disable. You get 2 shields, which is 4 points worth of durability, or just 2 durability, easier to kill. In some cases, that might be the extent of their shields, or the last remaining bits of their shields. It's a good ability. 5 points. It's pricey, but it's there. Second of 5, because I'm going to stick on this of 5 channel. 3-point card. Same thing. Target a ship, discard the card, discard 1 upgrade of your choice on that ship. I love second of 5. I think that it is priced perfectly. 3 points for a targeted disable that works through cloak, works through shields, works 360 just at range 1 to 2. That's a fantastic upgrade. Croesus. Action. Discard. Target a ship. Disable a crew or tech. And then steal a crew from that ship. And bring it over, even if it exceeds your restrictions. Croesus is a little expensive at 5 points, but he disables something and steals something. And you don't have to disable the thing you're stealing. So, yeah, it's worth 5 points. And you know how I did my top crew list? Croesus counters a lot of those crew. So, you want a good crew? It's Croesus. Vox, 4-point Borg and Romulan, but we'll talk about Vox here with Borg crew. Vox is the first one I truly have a problem with. A discard to reroll 1 die, not worth 4 points. Now, I understand it's for any reason, but it's got to be more. The ability to disable but spend 2 drone tokens doesn't really make up for the card. It doesn't make it any better. Drone tokens are a relatively precious commodity, and none of the drone captains are fantastic outside of, say, Borg Queens. A couple of tactical drones are playable, but they don't really have the drone tokens to spare. You're bringing them because you want their effect, and their effects all use drone tokens. Even if this was spend 1 drone token to reroll 1 of those dice, it wouldn't be better. Vox would be good if he was a continuous effect. After rolling your dice for any reason, you may re-roll 1 of those dice. So that's a once per round. You get a re-roll, and that's 4 points and eats a crew slot. To me, that's a cool effect. That's something I legitimately think about, but I'd probably say, yeah, I think that's at least worth playing in some builds. Is it worth playing in all builds? No. But in some builds, sure. Even then, it might be only worth 3 points. It's on the same level as a Bohica, a Breen Aid, because it's not quite conversion, but it's rerolling dice, but it's any die, so that has its advantages. That's my take on Vox. Borg 7 of 9 just needs to be better. An action disable is too pricey just to add 2 drone tokens. Again, drones are so rare. An action just to add 2 drone tokens would be better. But if it's action disable, maybe I can live with it, but then she needs to be 2 points. 1. 4 points, I like 1. He doesn't get enough credit these days, but a while back, he saw a lot of play. And I like what 1 brings to the table. The threat of him in a game is a legitimate threat. From that standpoint, I don't want to change anything. I like 1 exactly where he is. Borg Data simply suffers from having to spend a drone token. Here's the fix, I think, that would be interesting for Data. Make him a discard, but get rid of spending the drone token. Then add in a caveat where you can spend a drone token to prevent him from being discarded. So if you just want to bring Data 1 time, then you can do that, and you don't need a Borg captain. But if you want him to be reusable, you need Borg drones in some way. Then he's about the same as Deanna Troi, and that's good, but right now he is significantly worse than Deanna. And I don't want that. I want Data to be playable and a legitimate answer to some things that go on. Next up we have Torsus. The simple fix for Torsus is don't make him an action. Continuous skill boost. And get rid of the drone token part and say that he may not boost the skill of a Borg captain. That's because Torsus was one of Lore's drones, so he was freed from the collective, had his individuality, and didn't work with the Borg anymore. Is that a great thing? Do we need another skill booster? No, but at least it's there. He would need to be raised in cost, probably to a 3-point card for that. Or he could be lowered to, say, a 1-point card and say, you may discard this card at the start of combat to increase your captain skill by 2 or 3. I don't know. Something like that. Be interesting to have a 1-shot to do that. For 4 of 12, I like the ability. What I don't like is the discard fact. So let's just get rid of the discard. How about action? Spend one of your drone tokens. Target a ship. Maybe, since it's reusable, make it range 1 to 2. That's probably my only thing. Then it's more in line with the 2nd of 5, the Data, the 4th of 5, and the 3rd of 5. That would make sense. The discard just doesn't work. It's not something that sees any play. So, what do? You make it reusable. Bosus needs to not be an action. If you could discard him and all the cards he's accumulated during the roll attack dice step to get more dice, then he would be fantastic. Since he's limited to primaries, you avoid the super way too good combo with mag charges. But it's a nice boost to ships. And it's not super powerful, but it's a nice way to accumulate some extra attack dice. You just have to work at it a little bit. Magnus Hansen is a pretty good crew. I've used him to good effect. Spending 1 less drone token is great because that can take an effect down to 0, and then you can do something that you normally couldn't do. So no changes there. And our last crew is Goval, and since Goval was on my top 10 crew, you know that I don't want to make any changes here. Goval's fantastic. He discards himself and saves somebody else, keeps somebody around to do their thing longer. I guess the only change I'd even want to make is that he would disable if he prevents a disable and discard if he prevents a discard. But he's 1 point, so I can't argue that too much. So here's where I'm at. A lot of these Borg crew I like. I don't necessarily run them all the time, but I like them. I like the options they present. What I wish they had was some kind of a regeneration chamber, some kind of a tech, a Borg tech maybe, where you could discard the card or even disable the card or put time tokens on the card to use the action on a Borg crew card for free or as a free action. Because so many of these cards, so many of these crew cards are actions. The only ones that aren't actions as printed are Goval, Magnus, Hansen, and Bosis. Every other Borg crew starts action. Actually, Vox is also not an action, but you get the point. It's action, 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 action. It's too many. The Borg don't have enough actions to go around. They need something. They need that just little extra bit. I don't think that would break anything. You make it cost like 2 points, and it takes up a slot so that you can't have tons of them. Make it limit 1 per ship if you're worried about crazy combos. That's the best I've got there. But yeah, I like Borg crew. So if you're looking for something to beef up the Borg a little bit more, look to crew. And if you're looking for something for cross-faction, go Borg, because Borg crew are pretty good as a whole. Not a lot to do here with the Sickbay, but I like it. I've actually enjoy not having to do a lot of repair work here, and that is a great thing. Thank you guys for watching. Next week, we will be doing Species 8472, the whole faction. That'll probably be a little longer, but that's okay. It's special because it's Memorial Weekend here in the US. So, yeah, we'll see what I have to say about Species at that point. Thank you again, and until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care.